So I'm going to tell a story from about 2,000 years ago. Actually, it's around the year 700 AD or so, by an Egyptian named Dun Nun. And it's a story called When the Waters Dried Up. It's an Islamic story. Apparently, a teacher of Moses was told that on such and such a date, all the water in the world would dry up and then be replaced with a new water. But when men would drink this new water, they would go crazy and fall into speech of nonsensical ideas and wrong thinking. And that the only way to avoid this is to have water stored up and hidden away that you could access after the water had all been replaced. And so this young man, hearing this great warning from a teacher, decided to go out and get a whole bunch of water buckets and filled them up and carried them off out into the desert, into a cave, and stored them up and waited for the day when all of the water disappeared shortly. He went to his cave and hid and drank the water, some of the water that had been hidden away, until word came that all the water in the world was flowing again, but then men were mad and were speaking nonsensically about trivial things that didn't matter anymore. He continued to drink from his store of water and remained the only sane man among all of his friends. But after some time, he became so lonely in his sanity that he went and drank from the flowing water that everyone else was drinking from and went crazy, but was then accepted by all of his friends and enjoyed his life in nonsense, in insanity. And I'm sure, like many of these stories, there's levels and levels of learning from them. But this one struck me that, sometimes spiritual life is quite a lonely affair because you're renouncing the world. You're not drinking the water that everybody else is drinking. And you're keeping a sobriety about yourself and a certain earnestness in the way that you live. That you're working on things like self-discipline and inner purity and calmness of mind, things that are very much out of vogue, out and about. And so the danger is that we do our practices and we get very involved in our studies, but we cease to fall in love. We forget to fall in love with the divinity, with the oneness, with this beautiful ideal that we are searching for and that we're uncovering in ourselves. And in that loneliness, the call of the water of the world, as it were, sounds sweeter and sweeter, and we miss the company, as temporary as it might be, of our friends and whatnot. So this is just to encourage you. Fall in love with love. Fall in love with God. Make sure that in all of your hard efforts and renunciations and dispassions and discriminations, that you remember the heart, that you remember that the beloved dwells in all things. Serve him there, love him there, and build that relationship deeply so that you will never have to wander into the general insanity to find your companionship.